Hi guys, so a few weeks ago I sold about 25% of my total investments, and I figured since I really want to be transparent about everything, and obviously I will do portfolio updates and things, so I would mention it then, but some of you may not watch the portfolio updates, so I just wanted to do a quick video just explaining why I've sold 25% of my investments and quickly take you through which investments they were. Now, the one annoying thing is that I actually thought that this website that I use to track all of my investments, that I've mentioned before that you guys can follow me on, I thought it would also show the profit or loss, but obviously I've not made any losses because I haven't sold anything at a loss. But when you share that you've sold something, it gives you the profit or loss amount. So I thought it would show it on the list, like when I go back to it. But as you will see, it doesn't. So you'll be able to see what I've sold and how much of it, but we won't be able to see the percentage profits. So whilst editing, I will try to find, I know I took a couple of screenshots, but I didn't really make a point of tracking the profit or loss because I assumed it would be here. So I am sorry about that. I did sell everything at a profit. If you have followed me, you know that I have this rule of unless I am genuinely thinking that the company will go bust or something, I don't sell at a loss. So I'm just going to take you through my reasoning first, and then I'll take you through what I've sold. Now, this was a while ago, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to do a video sooner. Life has been intense the last few weeks. If you work in finance, you already know that it's been financial year end, and that just adds stress on top of everything else and everything that's been going on. So I've not really had time to sit down and film. I am hoping that things will be a little bit better going forward. So hopefully no more lags in video uploads and things like that. So you may see a big flurry of videos at the moment, just because there are so many things that I want to get out there before I go back into the normal rhythm. Now, unless you live under a rock or maybe on some desert island somewhere really remote, in which case, please take me with you. But unless you do, you'll be aware that the cost of living has gone up massively, as has inflation. Now, if that's not a reason to invest, I don't know what is. So 100%, I genuinely think, I get these questions a lot at the moment. It is time to be investing. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, but my personal view, 100%, if you have the cash, invest now. If I had spare cash, I wouldn't be selling my investments. I would be heavily adding into them. But once again, if you have followed me, and this isn't the first time you're seeing one of my videos, I'm trying to build a house, and alongside the massive inflation and cost of living increases, building materials have gone up an insane amount. Like, I can't explain to you the insane increases in pricing that we've been seeing, and it's like 20 to 30% increases in pricing. So I was thinking in my head, does it make sense to hold all this cash in my investments and then struggle to build and let the prices keep going up and up and up with building materials, where they are actually going up a lot more than inflation is? So I posted my thoughts on my Instagram. So if you do follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this. And I said, what do you guys think? Like, what would you do if you were in my position? And pretty much everyone agreed with me that they would do the same, that they would sell. And I even had someone who said they were a builder and they'd seen like how insane the price increases were. There was someone else who said things had doubled since last year. So that was a really good confirmation for me. And essentially my thinking is that with the way the stock market is at the moment, we're not really going to see a 20, 30, 40% increase in the time frame that I'm going to be building my house. I do think that if I was going to be investing now over the long term, I would probably see that, just because it's crashed. And, I look at the investments I made back when we had the crash in 2020. And even now, after the crash, everything was positive. So I do know that over time, I would probably make that money. But short term, it makes more financial sense to sell those investments that were in the positive, so in profit, and use that to fund these building materials that are going up 20, 30, 40%. If I give you an example, I had a quote to buy styrofoam for the installation back in December, and I believe it was about 180 zloty per whatever. Don't ask me, I'm not technical, but the unit that they sell styrofoam in, it was 180 zloty per one unit. And now it's gone up to about 350 zloty per unit. So it has pretty much almost doubled, which is just insane. And it's only been, what, 4 months? 4 months. And my cost has basically gone from 5,000 zloty to 10,000 zloty. I mean, actually it's 17,000 because I didn't take into consideration the installation for the flooring. So that's another 7K there. But in terms of the actual cost that I was going to pay for the walls insulation, it has doubled. Now, I know that, investing is a huge part of the financial independence movement and retiring early and all of that. But actually having your own house that is completely paid off in cash, no rent, no mortgage or anything, is an even bigger step towards financial independence. And once I achieve that, I can focus a little bit more on building the investment part. So 100%, I'm still going to go back into like heavily investing and things like that. At the moment, obviously, most of my cash is going into the house. For any additional cash that I have, I will be splitting it 50-50 between the house build and investments, and I'm still going to be putting in a tiny amount per month into my ISA because I still want to be investing a little bit. So pretty much everything that I sold was on free trade and trading 212, so my non-ISA trading 212 accounts. The bulk was in free trade and then a big chunk in trading 212. Now there are two reasons for that. One is that those were the platforms where I'd had the biggest positives. So I wanted to take advantage of that. And secondly, because I'm going to be leaving the free trade platform. Now I will do a video just explaining that as well. But those were the two main reasons. And the final thing that I want to mention just before I take you through what I've sold is that in no way do these sales mean that I no longer want to invest in this company, that I think that you should be selling out of these companies or anything like that. These are purely just investments that happens to be in profit, and these are just investments that on free trade happened to be in profit. And like I said, because I'm going to be leaving, I just sold everything from free trade that was in profit. And then on trading 212, I just sold the ones that were in profit that I thought probably wouldn't go up as much as some of the ones I kept in the short term. So for example, AMD I kept because I think that that has more potential to grow short term than say Starbucks. But that's it. They are still all companies that I plan to go back to, that I plan to invest back into. So please don't take any of this as me saying don't invest in these companies anymore. Okay, so let's just look through what I've sold. And here you can see this was March 2022 on the 15th. So pretty much exactly a week because it's the 15th of April today, a month rather. And this is what I've sold. So I sold Amex, $273 worth. I sold AbbVie, $291, Starbucks, $82, Vanguard, £1,036, iShares FTSE 100, £268, Vanguard FTSE All World, £701, US Div Aristocrats, £629, Secure Income, £30.50, Physical Gold, 86.16, National Grid, 22.86. This was like the two shares that I had in my normal investing account with trading 212. I obviously hold more than that in my ISA. Physical Silver, $265, and AstraZeneca, $1,535. So in total, I sold about £5,000, I believe, and that roughly equals to about 25% of the total that I had invested. I think I got up to like 24,000-ish previously, but when everything dropped, so did the value. So the value went to around 21K. So obviously 5K is about 25%. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now. Hopefully that was useful, helpful in some way, or at least interesting. If you have any questions about this, just pop them in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.